My wife helped my business partner push me out of my own company. They thought they had won until one phone call changed everything. When my wife asked me to sign a stack of business documents over dinner, I didn't think twice about it. We'd been married for 9 years, and she had always handled the paperwork while I focused on running the company. She smiled. So they were routine shareholder updates my attorney had already reviewed, and slid the papers across the table. I signed every page without reading them. Looking back, that wasn't the biggest mistake I made. Trusting the two people closest to me was. 3 weeks later, my business partner, Derek, called an emergency board meeting. I walked into the conference room expecting to discuss a new contract. Instead, I was handed a copy of the same documents I'd signed at home. Buried inside them was an agreement reducing my ownership below 50%. Derek smiled as the board voted to remove me as CEO. My wife sat quietly in the corner, refusing to meet my eyes. That was the moment I realized they hadn't just betrayed my marriage, they planned to take my company too. I moved into a small apartment that weekend and hired both a divorce attorney and a business litigation lawyer. They both asked me the same question. Did anyone pressure you into signing those documents? I said no. Legally, my signature was valid. It looked like I'd handed over my own company. For a few days, I thought my career was over. Then my attorney noticed something strange. One signature page had been swapped after I'd signed the originals. The document numbers didn't match the files our accountant had archived months earlier. Instead of confronting Derek, we quietly hired a forensic document examiner. At the same time, my attorney subpoenaed email backups from the company's cloud server. That's where everything fell apart for them. Hundreds of deleted messages were recovered, including conversations between Derek and my wife discussing how to keep me distracted until the paperwork is finalized. One email even included instructions to replace the original signature page before filing it. They thought deleting the emails erased the evidence. It didn't. We stayed completely silent while the investigation continued. Derek started celebrating his new role as CEO, buying a luxury SUV, and posting motivational speeches on LinkedIn about earning success through leadership. My ex-wife appeared beside him in almost every photo. Friends kept asking why I wasn't defending myself online. The truth was simple. I didn't need social media. I had evidence. About 2 months later, Derek received a phone call during a meeting with investors. It was his attorney advising him that the court had approved an emergency order, freezing ownership changes until the fraud investigation was complete. The investors immediately paused negotiations, and within days, the board demanded Derek step down while the case moved forward. The same people who had applauded him weeks earlier suddenly wanted nothing to do with him. The lawsuit ended much faster than anyone expected. Faced with overwhelming evidence, Derek agreed to return every ownership share he'd taken and resign permanently. My ex-wife was questioned about her involvement and eventually admitted she knew exactly what had happened. Our divorce was finalized soon afterward, and thanks to the fraud findings, she walked away with far less than she'd expected. A year later, my company signed the biggest contract in its history. As I stood in our new headquarters watching employees celebrate, I realized something that surprised even me. I wasn't happy because Derek had lost everything. I was happy because he failed to take away the one thing that actually mattered: my ability to build something worth believing in. A few weeks after the announcement, I received a message from my ex-wife. She wrote that she'd made the biggest mistake of her life and wished we could talk one last time. I read it once, closed my phone, and went back to work. Some conversations don't need a reply. Sometimes silence says everything that words never could. Today, people think my biggest victory was winning the company back. It wasn't. The real victory was proving that trust can be stolen, money can be stolen, and even a marriage can be stolen, but integrity is the one thing nobody can take unless you give it away. If the two people you trusted most secretly worked together to steal everything you built, would you fight to get it back? Or would you start over somewhere they could never reach you?